Hello, students. All right, hopefully we're all set up correctly. Hopefully I'll be coming on the screen any second now. Let's see. Okay, looks good. So we'll see. There we go. All right, so we are in a good shape today. Welcome out, everybody. Glad and happy to be with you once again. Let me get this fixed. Here we go. Okay, we're good to go. All right, so I apologize in advance. I did not send out the email letting you know we're meeting tonight. There's a few reasons behind that. One, we were having a bad thunderstorm. I wasn't sure whether we were going to have it. And then I was like kind of feeling really tired and worn out, and I was thinking about canceling because of that, but then I kind of laid down and I was feeling better. So it's just because I really wasn't sure, and I would have hated to send out the notification if we weren't having it. But I'm feeling pretty good now, so I think we're all together. I have, or ready to go. I have a good reason as to why I'm tired. So the great news is that settlement on my house was moved up a week and a day, since all the paperwork was in, and they all seem, as soon as that happens, they all seem to really want to, get the settlement. And it makes sense, because as soon as they're done with me, they can spend more time and energy on other people buying a house. So the great news is that I have the house, I have the keys, I am owner of the house now, which is fantastic news. This has been many months in the making. I think I told you guys about this, guys and gals, maybe back in May starting, maybe even a little bit before, when I was like seriously considering making the move, buying the house. And we're here today, and it's reality. And I want to thank you all for coming along with me on this journey and helping me make this happen, because if I didn't have the YouTube channel, I probably wouldn't have been able to do it, between the YouTube channel and my teaching business that I teach locally. So I thank you all for that. So that is why I'm tired, because yesterday was a very exciting day, exciting in a good way, obviously, but today, that's kind of all burned off, and it kind of kept me up a little bit last night, just all the I don't know, all the excitement. So a little burned out today, but I'm doing okay, and I think I'll be able to do our lesson just fine. And what I might do is we might do the lesson. I might only take a few questions today, and then we might end a little bit early. We'll see. I always say that, and like when I'm tired, and then we end up doing the whole thing. But let me say hello to some people here. We got Adri here, ready and first. All right, glad to hear it. Laredo's here. Good morning, Tim and fellow students. I trust all of you are well. I am sending love all the way from Johannesburg, South Africa. All right. I am always glad to join all of you in Request to Learning. All right, glad to be here with you, Laredo, and welcome back. We got Barbara here once again. Thanks for coming back, Barbara, joining us once again. We got Lynn here once again. Thanks for coming. We got Mohammed. Hello there. I believe it's your first time out. So anybody that's new or returning, feel free to come back. Would always love to see you again. Everybody give Mohammed a round of applause and a nice welcome. We got Rich One Planet. Welcome, Rich. So happy you could come out. I believe it's your first time as well. Happy that you came out. And we're going to get started here in just a minute. But I want to say hello to Jordan. Hey, Jordan's back, or Island, sorry, is back once again. So happy you're out with us once again. Hopefully life is treating you well. We got Adria here. Congrats. Thank you very much, Adria. I appreciate that. And Rich One Planet thumbs me up. Congratulations, Tim. I'm so happy and excited for you. That is indeed great news. Thank you very much, Laredo. Arturo, hi, Master. A pleasure. All right, welcome, Arturo. I've seen your name around before, but I'm not sure if it was you or somebody with the same name. But welcome. And anybody else that's your first time, welcome out. We got Mohammed. Yeah, my first time to join a live stream. Thanks. You're very, very welcome. All right, we're going to get started here in just a minute. Zainab, welcome. So happy you could come out. All right. So, just kind of getting my head together here. So, let me get things situated. Oh, I need to start the Facebook stream. It should take less than a minute or so. Just say hello if you're in the chat, or you just want to sit back, relax. It should take less than a minute, and then we'll be ready to get going here and get learning. And then I have a few announcements related to the house thing, but we'll save that for later. All right, so everybody just give me less than a minute or so. About a minute. Hello students and welcome back to class, our classroom, piano lessons on the web.com. If it's your first time here, welcome first of all. I would always love for you to come back and join us live. You can join us live facebook.com/lessons on the web and youtube.com/lessons on the web on Fridays and Sundays, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I would love if you come out and join us live. Feel free to share this video and let other people know about our classroom, because the more people we have, the more we learn together. Okay, we're going to get right into our lesson here. Let me just make sure I got everything good to go. And I think we're pretty much good. Wait. There we go. Okay. Let me think about what I'm going to say here for the intro. From Honduras, Arturo's from. Welcome. Okay, ready? I get students telling me all the time, Tim, I know how to play staccato. I get that, playing nice and short. I know how to play legato, smoothly connected. But I have problems playing both at the same time. It just makes my brain explode. Well, explode your brain no longer, because today, that's exactly what I'm going to show you how to do. Okay. Sorry, everybody. I'm a mess today with the scene switching. Okay. Tip number one I have for you right off the bat is you want to learn the right hand and the left hand parts, hands separately first. And the reasoning behind this is that once you have the notes learned, there's just one less thing you have to be thinking about. So say you're learning the C major scale, which is going to be our main example today. It's really easy to understand. And you really want to learn the scale first before you start figuring out, playing staccato in one hand, legato in another. So learn your notes first. So learn the notes of the C major scale, going up or down, or whatever you are trying to learn. Okay, let's take a look at tip number 2. Okay, tip number 2 is practice each hand separately, but with the articulations. So let me show you what we're going to go here for. There we go. Okay, so what I mean by this is that you are actually going to play them hands separate. And say I want staccato in my left hand, legato in my right. Well, I'm just going to play it hands separately just to make sure I have the notes and the staccato correctly. These, by the way, are called articulations. You're going to see me use that word, hear me use that word a lot. So that's what it means. It's just an umbrella term for staccato, legato, accent, just different ways you can hit the notes to give them make them more articulated, or more fancy. All right, so with the right hand, then you're going to play this legato, hands separate first, just to get the idea down. Okay, let's get on to tip number 3. Tip number 3 I have for you is put hands together and play with the articulations, but really concentrate in on one of the hands. So I'm going to play hands together. We did them separately already. I'm going to do it hands together. I'm going to mainly be concentrating on what's going on with the left hand. The right hand, I'm going to do my best to, keep it in like what we're trying to do. So I'm going to play that legato and this one staccato. So here we go. I'm mainly going to be focusing on the staccato though. Whoops. So as I'm playing it, I'm really looking at that left hand. I'm really thinking short, 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 make the note short. And then I'm going to actually do the same thing. I am going to actually just reverse it. I'm going to mainly be concentrating now on my right hand playing that legato. Still playing short if I can over here, but mainly I'm focusing on the right hand. I'm still playing together though. Just like that. And now that I'll do that quite a few times. I mean, if you're still just getting used to this, you're going to have to keep doing it before you really get a nice grip on how this works. All right, now I'm going to try playing them together, kind of dividing my concentration between both of the hands. There, I did pretty well. You might struggle with it, that's fine. If you continue to struggle, break it up hands separate. Go through these steps again, you know, break it up hands separate, then put it hands together, concentrating really on one hand, and then concentrating on the other hand, and then trying to just kind of get both at the same time. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna switch it. I'm gonna play staccato with my right hand, legato with my left hand. Oops, I have to like really adjust gears here. So I kind of went a step back because I really wanted to concentrate on that left hand, because that was kind of was throwing me off there for a second. And there, I got it. So I wanted to show you with the C major scale, because that's really something simple that we can all kind of grab a hold of. If you don't know your C major scale already, you can learn it fairly quickly. Check out one of my lessons on learning your scales. I'll make sure to put a link somewhere for you once I get this video posted, and yeah, and then try it out for yourself. So try these 4 tips or so. Let's go over them quickly one more time as just a review. Okay, tip number 1 is learn the right hand and left hand parts, and then practice putting them together without any articulation at all. This was the part where I was talking about in the beginning, just concentrating purely on the notes, because if you're trying to get this staccato and legato stuff down and you don't have the notes, say you don't even have the dynamics, you don't have anything, well, you're not going to be able to do it, because, or it'll be much harder to do it, because you're going to be concentrating on too many things at once. You really want the notes to be automatic so that you can concentrate on getting this one thing down. And I recommend the same thing for dynamics as well. If you want to add in dynamics to your music, learn the notes first, then you can really think, okay, this part I need to get softer, this part I need to get loud, this part I need to play staccato, this part I got to play legato. So that's what I recommend for that. Tip number 2, remember, was practice each hand separately now, but with the articulations. So this will kind of get you thinking about each hand and what you're supposed to accomplish with each hand without putting them together and having to focus. This is all, and a lot of things with learning piano is all about breaking things down into smaller and more digestible pieces. All right, let's go over quickly tip number 3. Remember, tip number 3 was putting them hands together with the articulation, but concentrating more on one of the hands. Now, that doesn't mean that you totally want to mess up the other hand, but you're really focusing on getting one of the hands, say the left hand, really correct, and then you're going to play it again. I guess that could be like tip number 4. Really, the second part of tip number 3 is to play it again, concentrating on the other hand. So I would play it again. Oh, that's why that's not happening. I would play it again, concentrating then on the right hand. All right, everybody, let's see what we got here. Okay, that's what. Okay. All right, and then I guess you could say a tip number 5 even is that keep practicing them hands together and trying to then basically put it all into practice, playing staccato on one hand, legato on the other at the same time. Now, if you play these in actual pieces, it's going to require a bit more work, because the C major scale that I gave you as an example is real simple. You're obviously, when you're learning a piece, you follow the same methodology. You learn the piece first. You learn the at least the passage or the few measures you're going for, and you really get those notes down. like I said, you want it as automatic as possible, the notes, so that when you're putting all these extra details in, you can actually focus on that. All right, everybody. I want to know, what are your questions about playing staccato? What are your questions about playing legato? Do you have any questions about the method that I gave you today? I know it's a little bit on the shorter side, but like I talked about, as I'm working through this house stuff, because even though I do have the house bought now, which was quite a bit of work. I mean, you make lots of phone calls. You have to drive quite a few places and everything, and then you have to go to settlement. But now that that's out of the way, I do have to actually paint it and then get the floors redone. And then I think I can move in after that, because I think pretty much everything else I can fix as I'm living there. I just wanted to get the walls and floors done before I had furniture in there, because that would make it impossible. So that's why I'm kind of coming out with shorter lessons, so that way I can still maintain that consistency rather than having to take huge breaks during the summer, which I don't think would be a good idea. You're very welcome, Zainab. Yeah, so anybody, let me know any of your questions about what we talked about tonight. Like I said, I might only take a few, and then we might end a little bit early tonight. But I do want to give you some announcements, so don't go away just yet. But I want to look through to see what we got here. I want to say hello to Gregory Harris. How you doing, Gregory? So happy you could come out and join us again this evening. Gregory says, good evening, Tim and everybody. I am back on my old channel and glad to be back with you again for another great lesson. All right, glad to be back with you, Gregory. Fireflower's back again. Hi, Tim. Hi, everybody. Welcome. We got Juan here. Hi from Mexico. All right, welcome, Juan. We got quite a few new people today. So, like I said, I always love to see new and returning students. If you're interested in meeting with us on a regular basis, what I recommend you do... Let me do this first. But what I recommend you do, just give me a second, is go to pianolessonsontheweb.com. That's my website. There's courses that you can sign up for there. I'm not going to talk about that right now. I'll bring that up in another session. But what I really want to talk about right now, you can read that on your own, is to click on the community tab up top, because that's really for the live stream people. If you scroll down, the first thing I want to tell you about is if you scroll down on the page, you can see a calendar of what we're talking about and when. Only the Friday and Sunday's lessons are marked out on the calendar, only because in August I'm not as sure what's going to be taking place. I know we are off next Friday. We may even be off next Sunday as well. I might just take a week off, kind of recuperate and get working on the house so I can come back and refreshed and teach you all some other great lessons. I actually have a lot of lessons that I have developed that I've kind of like worked ahead on, but those won't come out right now. Those are lessons that are really good in my opinion, that you guys are really gonna like, and I want them to come out at a time probably towards maybe later in August, where I have more time and energy to put into them, because I want them to turn out really well. I mean, like the lesson tonight I think is an important lesson as well, but I really have some good stuff brewing in my head. I've been writing it all down as well, and there's actually going to be quite a slew of new content coming in the fall. I don't want to tell you too much about it right now. I want you to be excited for it, because there will actually be more videos coming out. I guess I can tell you this part. One thing I'm going to start doing is I've lost quite a few students that I teach locally since the beginning of the year. And you lose students. It was weird. Is like some years I won't lose any students, or like maybe one. And then some years I'll lose like way more. And it's just like chance, because some years, like this year, I had like 2 families move, and they both had 3 kids apiece. The one family, they're not sure if they're actually going to move yet, because they're buying a house and it's not going well for them, or they're buying another house anyway, so they might be where they're at. So I might still have them, but I'm not sure. But anyway, and then I had some other students where they were like in their early to mid 20s, and they are just starting out their jobs, and they started their jobs, and then they turned out they couldn't take piano, so I lost some there. But the point of all this is why I'm telling you this, is that the good news is that I'm going to actually move more and more into full-time on YouTube, which is something I've planned to do for quite a long time now. At least the last year, I've really had it brewing in my head. Kind of making the decision because now between the YouTube and the sales on the website, I can actually begin to do that because it helps me make a sustainable income. So what I'm going to start doing is moving into more full-time on YouTube. That means not only better content will be coming out, but more. And it's going to, I'm not going to overdo it at first. I'm probably going to start out with posting one more day a week and then see how I handle that and then post 2 more days a week. But I also have better lesson series that I'm coming out with. But like I said, I want to wait until the fall to do that. So I'm going to be putting more and more work into the channel as we move into the end of the year or even the next month or so. So I'm really excited about that. You should be too. I don't want to say too much about it right now because like I said, I want you to be pleasantly surprised. All right, what else was I going to tell you? If you don't know, like if you haven't been following me for a while, you've probably heard me say I bought a house earlier in the live stream. What that means for everybody, what happened here? Oh, sorry about that. Let me get the chat back up. What this means for everybody is that I will be moving into a I call it a studio. It's going to be a studio. It's going to have all my equipment in it. But it's going to be a nicer room. I already have the room picked out on what I'm going to do it in. And it's going to not only give me a little bit more room to move around, but it's going to be a lot nicer. So if you don't know, we've been running this operation out of a basement for the past 5 years since I started. So I'm really excited to actually run it out of an actual room because this basement isn't the greatest area to do all of this in. And it's going to be really, really cool to have a real studio. I'm going to make it look nice, obviously. I'm going to paint it up. I'm going to get some interesting things behind me that represent what the channel's about, rather than just this red backdrop, which I think does okay. It definitely does better than what I used to have in my old videos, but I think it's time for a retirement on that thing. So I'm really excited about that. That will also let me work in a nice environment. I'll be able to produce more videos because it's a nicer room to work in. Right now I mostly work upstairs. I only come down here to do the live streams, and if I need to film anything for any kind of videos that I'm doing, whether it's a promo video or some sort of social media update or anything like that. But with the new studio, it'll be really nice. I'll be able to come from my bedroom pretty much right over to the studio room and get right to work and get recording. So I'm really excited about that. Adria says, cool. You're at a point where you can make a living doing YouTube and your website. That is great. Yeah, I'm pretty much there, Adria. Like I said, I still need the funds from the income from the local piano teaching business, and I still do have quite a few students there, which is great. But like I said, I'm going to move more and more into YouTube because I think that's a smart idea, and it's also something I want to do, and I think it's also something you're all going to love. Once I start coming out with this new and improved content. All right, Juan says, nice. I'm in my mid-20s, actually working as a DJ right now, but had the time to watch this good lesson. Thank you very much, Juan. I really appreciate that. You're always welcome back, and I hope to see you again in the near future. Zainab says, thank you for your efforts. You're very, very welcome. I appreciate that comment. Very much so. All right, anybody have any questions about what we talked about tonight? Like I said, I'm a bit on the tired side. I kind of mulled over the idea of canceling for tonight, but because we're going to be off at least next Friday, we might even be off all of next week, I wanted to get some lessons in this week because I don't like to have more than, I obviously like to have lessons every single week, but I don't like to go more than a week without seeing all of you because I like, one of the important things that I'll probably actually make a lesson about at some point is that it's important when you're either taking piano lessons or you're practicing or doing anything in life. One thing that's always going to help you, it's not the most exciting thing in the world because it's linked to predictability, but that is consistency. You want to be consistent in your work, you want to be consistent in everything you do, and you will be more successful doing that. There's an old saying that's 80% of success is showing up. And I find that in most cases to be very, very true. Honestly, if you show up and you keep showing up and you learn from each experience showing up, it's really, really going to help you out. So just a little bit of wisdom for me of things that's helped me. Hey, the bird says, hello, had the time to come and watch today. I think I missed the lesson, though. Yeah, so the lesson part was really, really short, the bird. But I appreciate you coming out as well. So if you missed the beginning of the lesson, I did buy the house. They moved settlement up 1 week, and we settled it yesterday. So that's why I'm tired today, because it was a very exciting day yesterday. And now all of those like good feelings and emotions have don't get me wrong, I still feel great about it, but it's like they're burned off now. You ever like have a day that's really exciting, or you know, maybe you're even really anxious that day, whether it's bad anxiety or good anxiety, and then after the event's over and you have time to calm down, you're just kind of like, oh man, like I need to spend the day in bed. But that always happens to me anyway. Let's see. Bill Jones says your plans sound great. All the best. Thank you very much, Bill. I hope all of you are excited for what's to come. There really are great things to come, because what I did all summer while I was doing all this house stuff and the YouTube stuff, and I had actually a lot of my other local students on vacation, what that gave me a chance to do was really map out and really come up with new content ideas, things I've never done before, some things that I've done before but I can do a lot better. So I've written down a lot of ideas. I've really come up with a really good strategy. So when we get into the new studio or the house, it's gonna, you know, I'm really gonna push out some great content. Adria says it happens. Very exciting day. So much going on. You're on a buzz. Yeah, the buzz is dissipating. That's why my energy levels are going. But I still feel good. I still feel good. That's awesome. Congrats, says the bird. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Yeah, as many of you know who have been following me for a while, it's been a long time. You know, it has been a long time, but it really hasn't, because I really started to. Now I've had this plan to buy a house for, you know, years now. Finally, I was able to do it, but I probably brought it up around May. So, you know, like 2.5 months, we got it done. I got a house that I really like. I got a good deal on it because it was an estate sale, and there's just outdated stuff in the house. It's actually in really good shape other than that. I wonder where Carol Christensen's been, by the way. Carol, if you're watching the recording of this, where have you been? You might be away on vacation. But that's okay. All right, and it looks like a lot of people. But we have a lot of new people, which is great. All right, everybody, I'm not going to ramble on too much longer. Just keep in mind that we are meeting on Sunday. What are we talking about on Sunday? Oh, Sunday, I believe, is the mistakes that you're making reading sheet music. These are common mistakes that I find students make that's hurting their progress when reading sheet music. Duh. And then we're off Friday, and then I'll kind of update you on Sunday as to what's happening next week. All right, everybody, if nobody else has any questions today, I'm going to end it a bit early today. Usually we go to the hour, but like I said, I'm a bit tired, and, you know, I think I'll just recuperate, and then I'll meet you again on Sunday. So thanks, everybody, for coming out. Any of the new students that came out, because we did have a number of them, like Zainab, I believe you're newish, if not brand new, so welcome. And Nathan's back once again, but Nathan isn't new, but thanks for coming, Nathan. Juan, thank you for coming. You're always welcome. Bill Jones, I believe you are on the newer side. Juan, Arturo, and anybody else. Mohammed, thanks for coming. And anybody else that's brand new tonight. And actually, you know, obviously the returning students that I love so much. Thank you for coming out. I really appreciate it. Do you have the time you're meeting on Sunday, says the bird? Yeah, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So whatever 30 minutes ago was for you, so it's 8:30 my time right now. So whatever half an hour ago was for you, that's when we're going to start on Sunday. Not sure why the air conditioner is making noise. That's one other thing we won't have to deal with. Oh, great. Okay, so good. We have a question here. And Zainab says, great. Yep, I'm new here. Well, great. Happy to have you out with us, and please come out again. Juan says, I actually have a question. Great. Can legato notes be played staccato? No, because legato, and actually maybe I should have defined these in the beginning of the lesson, but I kind of went in assuming people knew the definitions of these. Actually, I don't even know the strict definition, but I do know that staccato, the notes are played short. Actually, I do know the definition. It means short and detached. So the detached part is actually the most important part, because what that means is that there is space between each note. See that rather than this? Those are more connected. That's legato. That's the opposite. And then staccato. Short and detached. So you can't play legato notes as staccato, because that would ruin, it just wouldn't make any sense. Now what you can do is you can have a note that's legato followed by a note that's staccato. So long, short. So I'm actually playing this note, you know, like right as I'm lifting up off that note, but I'm lifting up the second note right away. Like that. Or you can have a string of legato notes and then have, you know, staccato at the end. You can actually have like a string of notes and then have staccatos in between. So you can mix them up. You can have like staccatos mixed in with legatos, but you can't have two of them. You can't have them mixed in simultaneously into the same note, because by definition legato is long and connected, and staccato is detached. So you can't do detached and connected at the same time. Adria says, where is Andy? Excellent question. Real Windsor fan. You know what? It could have been, we could have had less people of our regulars tonight, because I have a confession to make. I forgot to send out the email ahead of time. Oh yeah, I wanted to mention, I was talking about earlier the, what was it? The website, right? And the community page on the website. What's going on here? It usually loads in like 5 seconds. Okay, I don't know. Maybe something with my internet. Okay, you click on community, and if you fill out this form right here, you're going to get an email 30 minutes before we meet. So make sure to check that out. All right, let's see. Oh, got to bring this back. All right, everybody. I think that's all the questions for today. Thank you so much for coming out. Really happy to have joined you all once again. We're going to meet on Sunday. I'm going to have more energy on Sunday, I promise. Well, depending on what happens on Saturday and Sunday. But I'll rest up and I'll come back with more energy. All right. Anyway, thanks, everybody, for coming out. You know, very blessed to have you all coming out, joining me. And, you know, like I always mention, that is, if it wasn't for you, the students, being interested in my lessons, I would have quit this a long time ago. I wouldn't have been able to buy a house. None of this stuff would be possible. I wouldn't even be here right now talking to you. Anyway, so thank you all for, you know, just being a part of the channel. I know I do a lot of work on my end to give you good lessons, and I'm looking to give you better lessons all the time. But thank you for watching. So anyway, have a great week, or a great couple of days, and I'll talk to you on Sunday.